श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम सहनावतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. So yesterday we saw Sarvatah Panipadam etc. And then he said in the end of commentary, Yathaja Sarveshu Deheshu Ekameva Chetanam Nityam Vibhucha Na Pratiteham Vinnam Tata Prapanchikam Prak. We have already established earlier that the self is one non-dual and it is not many in many different bodies. In each different body individually there is not a there is not a different self. There is no different self. This was already established, but again he is going to be establishing it later, because adhyaropapadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. The basic system. Without understanding this, we cannot say we understand Vedanta. Adhyaropapadabhyam. There are so many things which I say. If you cannot say you can understand Vedanta, this is the main basic system principle of Vedanta. Adhyaropa apapadabhyam nishprapancham prapanchate. Adhyaropa means superimposition. Apavada means negation. Nishprapancham means absence of creation. Prapanchate. Prapancha, there also, prapancha here also. This prapancha is elaborating, explaining, establishing. So, the Vedanta establishes, prapanchate, the Vedanta establishes the absence of creation. Nishprapancham, I'm explaining it from the back. Vedanta establishes the absence of creation by superimposition and desuperimposition. Adhyaropa and apavada. Superimposition and desuperimposition or negation. Iti nyayam anusrutya. Based on this logic, sarva prapancha adhyaropena anadimat param brahma iti vyakhyatam. So we explained Anadimat Param Brahma. Based on Anadimat Param Brahma, we said the whole creation is superimposed on me. Okay. We established the superimposition. Now, Adhuna. Adhuna means now. Now. Tad apavadena. Nasattanna uchyate iti. The negation of it is neither existent nor non-existent. That statement, iti vyakhyatum, to explain that statement, arabhate, adhuna arabhate, we begin now. Nirupajika, why do you have to establish this? See, why do you have to establish first the creation and then start the negation? There is no point. Just leave it like that. There will be no creation. You bring in the creation and then you negate. What is all this first? I already told you, only when it is unclear, only when it is made dirty, the water will be clear. So here also we are doing the same system. He says, Nirupadhika Swarupa Jnanaya, to gain the knowledge of the non-attributed self. The non-attributed Swarupa means non-attributed self. Now, there is a beautiful statement, a beautiful story which they say. I need to say the story. I have said the story is in some other place also, but I need to say the story here. This Apavada and Adhyaropa. There was a man who willed his sons all his cattle. He had 17 cows. So he wrote a will saying, my first son will get half of the cows. My second son will get 1/3 of what is remaining. 2/3 of what is remaining. And the third son will get 2/3 of what the second son gets. One-third of the second son. Okay. So Okay, fine. First son half, second son 2/3 of that, and third son 1/3 of that. Okay. How many cows does he have? 17 cows. How are you going to split it? 17 cows. Are you going to cut one cow? And even if you cut one cow, how will you be distributing it? So it is a very difficult proportion. They are not ready to cut the cows, so they went to the Guru. Guruji is smart, right? So they go to Guru and they tell him this situation. We want to. My father wrote this stupidly, without even thinking. Now what to do? We don't understand. So we came to help. YouTube for help. Guruji said, no problem. Take one cow from Gaushala. Now we can split it easily. Okay, so one cow. So how many cows do you have? 17 plus 1, 18. Okay. Now, how many cows do you have to get a half of it? 9 cows. Take 9 cows. Go. Second son, how much? 2/3 of him. Meaning 6 cows. Okay, you take. How much? Third son. 2/3 of my brother. Second brother. How much? That is a one third. One third. So 1/3 of second son is he had 6. So 2, 2, 2. 6. Okay. So 1/3 is a 2 cows. You take your 2 cow. Take this cow to the cow shed. He is not even giving that cow. So for the transaction of splitting, we brought in a cow, which is only for transaction, which is not given or taken. So similarly here we bring in this creation, the whole metaphysical stories to establish the absence of creation. सर्वेन्द्रिय गुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रिय विवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृत्यैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च, all contradictory. If there is something called oxymoron, this is what it is. सर्वेन्द्रिय गुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रिय विवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृत्यैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च. सर्वेन्द्रिय गुणाभासं, this is that which illumines. Abhasam means that which illumines. Illumines guna, the objects, attributes of what? Indriyas, sense organs. The attributes of sense organ is the object. So this is the for sarva, for all the sense organs. So this is the one which illumines all the sense objects. Again immediately he says sarvendriya vivarjitam, and it is devoid of any sense organ. So first you have to take, it is devoid of any sense organ, but still it is the one which illuminates all the sense objects for the sense organs. Okay, if you are not confused, I will bring in another. He says asaktam sarvabhrutyaiva. It is asaktam. It is not associated. Sakta is association. Asakta means unassociated. It is unassociated. Sarvabhrutyaiva, and it is the one which is a Sarvabhrit, bharani, to hold on to. It is the one which is remaining as the substratum, holding on to everything, which is becoming the substratum for everything, meaning associated with everything. First he says unassociated, and he says it is substratum for everything. That means it is associated with everything. Then nirgunam, third one he says it is attributeless. Again immediately he says guna bhoktrucha. It is the one which is the experiencer of the gunas, the outcomes of the sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. First he says it is devoid of sattva, rajas, tamo guna. Then he says it is the one which is experiencer of the sattva, rajas, tamo guna. Paramarthatah sarvendriya vivarjitam. In reality it is devoid of any sense organs. Tan maya sarvendriya gunabhasam, and through the association with maya, it is a illuminer of all the sense organ objects. Bahishkarananam shrotradinam antakaranayoscha buddhimanasoh. What are the sense organs we are talking about? Whether it's internal or external doesn't really matter. Let us take external. External means he immediately says shrotradinam, shrotra, etc., the ear, etc. We by external we mean both the sense organ of knowledge and sense organ of action. By internal we mean antakarana means mind and intellect. So he says buddhi manasoho, buddhi intellect and manas mind. Gunaihi, their attributes. What are their attributes? What are those their objects? Atyasaya, atyasaya determination for the intellect, buddhi. Sankalpa, the willing, this, that, etc. of the mind. Then Shravana Vachanadibihi, Shravana Vachanadibihi, Shravana Vachanadibihi, Shravana and Vachana, etc. Shravana means Jnanendriya, Vachana means Karmendriya. Okay, Bak, Pada, Pani, Payu, Upastha, Karmendriyani. Okay, so he includes everything. Iti Vachanadibihi. तत्तद् विषयरूपतया अवभासत इव तत्तद् विषयरूपतया अवभासत it is illumining the everything as its object विषयरूपतया अवभासत it is illumining the objects for those sense organs oh there are objects and which are illumined by the sense organs, therefore there are sense organs. So the whole creation is real. If you say, immediately he adds eva. Learn this word. Whatever you learn or you don't learn the term eva in Sanskrit, which is an important term for Vedanti. You can say anything and say eva. You are cutting everything else. Whatever you said, you are cutting. Meaning eva, as though. You are not saying it is real. You are saying it is as though real. So he adds it. Avabhasata, it is illumining eva as though. Seemingly. Okay. Sarvendriya vyaparehi vyaprutam eva. So through all the sense organs, it is the one which is doing the transaction as though, seemingly. Tadnyeyam Brahma. What is that? Which is doing the transaction and which is the object? Tadnyeyam Brahma. That the object of knowledge, the self, is what is doing all this as though. How do you know this? Jyayati iva lelayati iva iti shrutehi. The Shruti very clearly says Jyayati iva lelayati iva dhyayati, meditating as though. Lelayati, leela means playing. Movement, creation, activity, anything can be playing. So, eva again. It is as though meditating, it is as though doing things. Atra dhyanam buddhindri vyapara upalakshanam, lelayanam chalanam, karmendri vyapara upalakshanam. So, dhyana is the dhyayati eva. When he said dhyana is a pointer to the sense organ of knowledge. Lelana means doing leela means action. Any karma can be any dhatu, any root word can be accepted in the sense of gamana, to go. So any movement. So lelayana means any movement. Movement is of the sense organ of action. So they are pointed out here. It is as though using the sense organ of knowledge, it is as though using the sense organ of action. Tata paramarthata asaktam. Similarly, from the standpoint of reality, it is asaktam. Sarva sambandha shunyam eva. It is unassociated to anything, means it has no relationship to anything. Maya sarabhricha, and through the Maya, it is the one which is holding on to everything. Sadatmana sarvam kalvidam dharayati. Posheti cha. Sarabhrit. So what is the meaning of sarabhrit? It is holding on means through the its basic nature of being sat, it is imagining everything, holding on everything, and nourishing everything. Niradhisthana Brahma Ayoga. Why do you say that? Because Niradhisthana Brahma Ayoga, without a substratum, there can be no superimposition. Without a canvas, there can be no painting. Similarly, without a substratum, there can be no superimposition. Tatha, similarly, Paramartho Nirgunam. From the standpoint of reality, it is a nirgunam, attributeless. Guna means sattvaras tamo guna rahitam eva. Guna means sattvaras tamo guna. Nirguna means it is devoid of the sattva tamo rajo guna. Okay. Guna bhoktrucha. At the same time, it is the experience of the gunas. Gunas means sattvaras tamasam shabdadina. Shabdadi dwara. The experience of sattva rajas tamo guna. How? Through the sound, etc. How? Sound can be experienced in three different same sound. See, I'm hearing the sound of the electric cutter. They are felling the tree. Okay. So the one who is there, who is felling the tree, who's for whom they are felling the tree, he'll be happy. The one who is felling the tree, who is cutting the tree, he has to work, so he is sad. And for me, I'm sitting here, I'm seeing this. Okay. So that is what he says. Sukha dukkha mohatmana. For one, the same object will give happiness. For some other person, the same object gives sorrow. For some other person, he is indifferent to that. So parinatanam bhoktru upalabdrucha tadgyayam brahmityartha. Meaning whatever that underwent transformation, all that the experiencer and the one who gains it is this self. This self, which is the object of knowledge. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charam evacha sukshmatva tadavijneyam durastam cha antike cha tat. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charam evacha sukshmatvad tad avijneyam durastam cha antike cha tat. Bahirantascha bhutanam, it is internally and externally existing in all the beings. It is internal and external in all the beings. Acharam charam evacha. It is the non-moving and as well as the moving one. Sukshmatvat tadavijneyam. Tad avijneyam. It is impossible to know that because it is subtle. Durastam cha antike cha. It is very farther and it is the one which is very closer to. Now, Sukshmatvat tadavijneyam. Since it is subtle, it is not known, because this is the question people will raise. Why am I not able to see the self? If the self is everywhere, it is the only thing, non-dual thing, then why am I not able to see it? Sankhyans, they explain very beautifully. Just because you are not able to comprehend it does not mean that it does not exist. There are 8 reasons for something that which exists cannot be comprehended, seen, perceived. What are they? Ati durat samipyat indrigatatmana anavasthanat saukshmyat vyavdhanat arivat svana viharat. Ati durat, since it is farther. Ati samipyat, since it is very closer. So if something which is farther, like some XYZ planet, we don't know. It exists somewhere. We don't even know if it is real or not. Scientists say there is a planet XYZ, we accept that, that's all. They calculate through the sound and all that, they say there is a planet, we accept that. Ati Turat. And Ati Samipyat, the eyelashes. I don't see my eyelashes, but there are eyelashes. I don't see what is happening in my eye. I had to show it to other person to remove some dirt, etc. So Ati Samipyat. Indrigatat, etc. Sense organ, destruction of sense organ, damaged sense organ, etc. will not also give you the knowledge. That though, even though it exists, let it be so. So okay. So durastam cha antike cha. It is the one which is farther for the ignorant one, and that is the one which is closer for the knowledgeable one. Bhutana bhavana dharmanam sarvesham karyanam kalpitanam akalpitanam adhishthanam ekam eva. Bhutana means bhavana dharmanam, for all the beings, for those things which have existence, for all the effects, whether it is imagined or not does not really matter. For everything, adhishthanam ekam. The substratum is one, only one, that one non-dual. Bahirantascha rajjuriva swakalpitanam sarpadharadinam sarvatmana vyapakam. Meaning, internally and externally, it is that which is exist. Meaning, like the rope is the substratum for the snake, it completely engulfs the snake. There is no, see, internally and externally. The rope completely engulfs the snake or the water line, etc. Some people see it as water line, some flow of water. Some people see it as garland, whatever it is. So it is the one, this rope is the one which is internally and externally engulfing the superimposed. अत एव अचरं स्थावरं चरं च जङ्गमं भूतजातं तदेव अधिष्ठान. So for this reason, it is that which is a non-moving. Achara means non-moving. Means all the planets, trees, etc. The plants, trees, etc. And charam, the moving, the animals, birds, etc. Bhuta jatam, all the beings, sadeva adhisthana atmaka, because that is the substratum for everything. So why does he say it is that which is the tree? It is all this plant, etc. कल्पितानां न ततः किंचित व्यतिरिच्यते इत्यर्थः. The superimposed does not differ from the substratum. एवं सर्वात्मत्वे अपि सूक्ष्मत्वाद् रूपादिहीनत्वात् तद् अविज्ञेयम्. इदम् एवम् इति स्पष्टज्ञानार्हं न भवति. See, since it is very subtle, though it is self of everything, since it is very subtle, meaning it does not have any form, etc., attributes, it cannot be understood. Avijnaya means it cannot be understood. It cannot be, you cannot understand the self as this is what it is in this form. It is not qualified to be understood in that way. Anarham. Ataeva, for this very reason, Atmajnana sadhana shunyanam सहस्रको वर्ष सहस्र कोट्यापि अप्राप्तत्वात् दूरस्थं च. For this very reason, for the people who don't have the means to gain the knowledge, the prescribed means, like here and in other places, whatever the prescribed means are there, one who does not have those qualification, for him, varsha sahasra kotyapi, varsha year sahasra, 1000 koti, crore. 1000 crore years, even for 1000 crore years, he will not be able to understand if he is ignorant. That is why it is farther for him. Yojana lakshana koti antaritam eva tat, like something which is farther in distance. Lakh crore yojanas. A yojana is probably 30 kilometers or 3 kilometers, something. Okay. So it is so farther away from him. Antarita means separated. Jnana sadhana sampannanam tu antikecha. For the people who have the eligibility, the eligible qualification, the prescribed prerequisites, for him it is closer. Tad amvyavahita eva atmatva. It is not separated because it is itself. दूरात् सुदूरे तत् इहान्तिके च पश्यत्सु इहैव निहितं गुहायाम् इति श्रुतिभ्यः. Shruti also says it is farther than the farthest and it is closer than the closer, because it is the self of the one who is inquiring it. It is residing in his heart cave. यदुक्तं एकमेव सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति इति तद् विवृणोति. So he said that one self is that which engulfs everything and exists. That is explained now. That is explained now. Pratideham atma bhedavadinam nirasaya. Why is he explaining that now? To negate the people who accept individual self in every body. Multiple selves in all the bodies. Aibhaktam ja bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam bhuta bhartra cha bhatadnyayam grasashno prabha vishnu cha. This statement looks like Bhutra Bhartru Tadnyayam Grasashnu Prabha Vishnu. This statement looks like some Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. Bhuta Bhartru Bhuta Bhavana, like that. Avibhaktam cha Bhuteshu. Bhuteshu, in all the beings, Avibhaktam. Bhakta means separation. Vibhakta means Visheshena Bhaktam, specially separated. And avibhakta means not separated. So that which is not separated in any being, vibhaktam iva chastam, and that which exists as though it is eva, as though vibhaktam, it is separated. Is this it exists as though it is separated. Bhuta bhartru cha tat gneyam, you have to know that to be that gneyam is that gneyam brahma is that object of knowledge. Brahman is bhuta bhartru, the substratum for all the beings, that which holds all the beings. Not just grasashno, it absorbs all the beings. Prabha Vishnu, it is the one which manifests. So it is the creator, it is the sustainer, and it is the dissoluter, where the merger, where it dissolutes. Bhuteshu sarva pranishu aibhaktam abhinnam ekam eva tat. In all the beings, it is not separated, not split, it is one non-dual. Natu pratideham bhinnam vyomat sarvayavakva. It is not different in each body because it is one all pervading, it is all pervading like ether space. Tathapi deha tadatmena pratiyamanatvat pratidehe bhaktam iva chastam. Though people, because of the identification of the body sense organ complex, it is seen to be different in each of the body. Aupadikatvena अपरामार्चिको व्योमनीव तत्र भेदावभास इत्यर्थ. Because of the embodiment, the duality is seen, like the space is seen to be different because of the embodiment, pot space, room space, etc. No, but wait. Bhavatu kshetrajnah sarvayapaka ekah. Let the kshetrajna be one, non-dual, all pervading. Brahma tu jagat karanam tato bhinnam eva. But this Brahman, we are talking about the self, we are talking about that which is the cause for all the creation. It is definitely multiple. It is not one non-dual. For that he says naityaha. Don't say that. Why? Bhuta bhartracha. Bhuta bhartracha means bhutani sarvani siddhikale vibharti. So that which holds on, sustains all the beings during the time of sustenance, after the creation. Pralaya kale grasashnuhu grasanashilam, and during the time of dissolution, it is where it all dissolves into. Utpatti kale prabha vishnu cha prabhanashilam sarvasya. During the time of creation, it is the one from which everything manifests. यथा रज्वादि सर्पादेहे माया कल्पितस्य, like the snake etc, which is imagined because of ignorance in the rope etc. The rope is the cause for the creation of snake. The rope is the cause for the sustenance of that snake. The rope is the substratum. Rope is the cause for dissolution of that snake too. Okay. So similarly here, tasmat, therefore, tasmat yad jagatah sthiti laya utpatti karanam brahma tadeva kshetrajnam pratideham ekam gneyam na tato anyat ityartha. So that which Brahman you are talking about, that which self we are talking about as the cause for creation, sustenance and dissolution, that Brahman is what is called as kshetrajna here. And that kshetrajna and Brahman are one and the same, and they are one non-dual in all the beings. It is not different. There are no multiple things, and this kshetrajna is not different from the Brahman. No, wait, fine, that is okay. Sarvatra vidyamanamapi tanna upalabhyate chet tarhi jadameva tha. Even though if it does not exist, even though it exists everywhere, if it is not experienced, then it should be inert. Jadameva tat, it should be inert. Eva syat, it should be inert. Na syat, no, it should not be inert. Why? Sarva jyotishopi tasya rupadi hinatvena indriyadi agrahyattvena uvattehi. Though it is self-effulgent, Since it does not have form, etc., it is not grasped by the sense organs. This is logical. This is possible. Therefore, it may not be inert. ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परम् उच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः. It is the effulgence for all the effulgent things. It is the effulgence of all the effulgent things. Tamasah paramuchyate, it is beyond the darkness, ignorance. Jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hrudi sarvasya vistishtam. It is the means of knowledge, it is the process of knowledge, it is the object of knowledge, and it is the knower residing in the heart. Hrudi sarvasya vistishtam, it resides in the heart as the knower. So all the ways, as the knower, as the known, and as the means of knowledge, and the process, everything it is that. Tad jneyam brahma ज्योतिषाम् अवभासकत्वानाम् आदित्यादीनां बुद्ध्यादीनां च बाह्यानाम् आन्तराणाम् अपि ज्योतिः अवभासकम्. So that self, for the self effulgent, whatever things that which is illuminating, the sun, etc., which is effulgent, which illuminates things, and buddhi, etc., the sun which illuminates the external things, and the intellect which illuminates the internal things. Bhashyanam antranam api. For both external and internal effulgent things, this is the one which provides them the effulgence. Chaitanya Jyotisha Jada Jyoti Avbhasakta Upatte. Through the self-effulgent consciousness, the inert effulgence can be illuminated. There is no problem in accepting that. The Suryastapati Tesaidaha. The Shruti says, Yena Suryastapati, because of which the sun shines. Teja iddaha, with that brightness. Okay, so tasya bhasa saramitam bhati, and because of its effulgence, all these shine. Ityadi Shruti. There are so many Shrutis like this. Kshyaticha, here also he is going to say, Yada adityagatam teja jagat bhasayate kilam. Yad adityam gatam tejaha, this effulgence which exists in the sun, which illumines all the beings, etc., he is going to say in the 15th chapter. Swayam jadatva abhavepi, though it is not inert, jada samsprishtam syat, it has association with inert. Whether you are inert or you are associated with inert, there is going to be some problem. Like we have a saying, the cow, the calf, if it is going to be in relationship with in contact with a pig, then it is going to eat all these natural. Or there is a good example, the thread which you use to tie the flower, that also will have the smell, the fragrance of the flower. The thread also, though it does not have any fragrance on its own, but because of the association, there will be good or bad qualities in one's. It is seen. So here, though it may not be by itself bad, but because of the association with these things, it will become inert. Naitya, don't say that. Why? Tamaso jadavargat param avidyadat garyabhyam aparamartikabhyam asamsprishtam paramartikam tad brahma. So all the jada varga, the group of inert things, meaning the ignorance and its effect, which is not real. Therefore, it is non-associated with them, because this self is the absolute. This self is that Brahman. Sadasato Sambandha Yoga. Simple logic is Sat and Asat both cannot have any relationship. Brahman is Sat and this inert is Asat. Sat and Asat cannot have any association. This is where Bhagavan Bhashyakara begins his Bhashya of Brahma Sutra. He says, युष्मदस्मत् प्रत्यगोचरयोः विषय विषयिनोः तमः प्रकाशवत् विरुद्ध स्वभावयोः युष्मदस्मत् प्रत्यगोचरयोः through the pratyas, through the process of you, I, etc., that which is understood. Yushmad, asmad, you, I, etc., that which is understood. Yours, mine, etc. Tamah prakashavat viruddha svavayoh, that which has contradictory properties like darkness and light. So that which has contradictory properties cannot stay in the same place. So Sat and Asat cannot coexist. Uchyate aksharat paratah parah ityadi shrutibhihi brahmavadibhischa. And the Shruti also and the Brahmavadis, people who know the self, they also aksharat paratah parah, it is beyond the all this creation. Taduktam, it is said. It is said, Taduktam Nisangasya Sasangena. Akshara, he is Naksharati iti Akshara. Here we are talking about the Prakriti, not the self. Okay? Because he is talking about Paratah Paraha, beyond that. So beyond that Akshara self, there is nothing else. So beyond that Akshara means here he is talking about the Prakriti. Nisangasya Sasangena Kutastasya Vikarina Atmano Anatmana Yogaha Vastavo no Vadyate. Beautiful. Nisangasya Sasangena Kutastasya Vikarina Atmana Anatmana Yogaha Vastavo no Vadyate. Nisangasya Sasangena. Nisanga, for that which is a non-associated, Sasangena, with the associated, Kutastasya, for the self, Vikarina, with the transformation, Yoga, association, the association of the associationless with the associated, the association of the self with the transformation, the association of self with the non-self, Vastava Navapadyate, cannot be real. Vastava means real. Navapadyate, it cannot be possible. Adityavarnam tamasah parastat iti Shrutesh. Dushchiti also says Adityavarnam tamasah parastat. It is of the color of a sun and is beyond the darkness. Why did he say sun, color of sun? And earlier also he said 1,000 lights, 1,000 suns. So he says Adityavarnam iti subhane Prakashantara anapeksham sarvasya prakasham. Adityavarnam, he said, Adityavarnam, like color of sun, to show that this is self-effulgent. It does not depend upon anything else to illuminate itself. You don't need a torchlight to see if the sun has risen or not. Yasmad tat swayam jyotihi jada asamsprishtam ata eva. Since it is self-effulgent and it is associate with inert, for this very reason, tad jnanam pramanajanya cheto vritti abhivyakta samvid rupam. That knowledge, remember this, pramanajanya cheto vritti, Vedanta pramanajanya cheto vritti, chitta vritti, a thought function which can manifest only through the right means of right knowledge. Simply. So, Cheto Vritti. Abhivyakti through that which manifests through the right means of right knowledge, the thought function which manifests through that thought, in that thought function, that which manifests, that Samvid Rupam, that knowledge form it is. Samvid Ekarupana Vidyate, in Panchadashi first chapter, he repeats again and again. The knowledge is one type and it is not different. It is not divided. Atayeva. For this very reason, Tadeva Geyam Jnatum Arham. That is the only thing which is eligible, proper to be known. Ajnatatvat, because it is not known. So it has the eligibility to be known. Jadasya ajnatatva abhavena. See, the inert is not ajnata, it is known, it is inert. So you don't need to know that. For jnatam anahatva. It is not eligible, qualified to be known. To know, it is not qualified to know. As the object of knowledge, it does not gain the qualification. Katham tarhi sarvaihi na jnayate. Then if this is the only thing, then why don't people don't understand this? Tatra, for this it is said, jnanagamyam purvaktena amanitvadina tad jnanartha darshanantena tad darshanantena sadhana kalapena jnana hetutaya jnana shabditena gamyam prapyam natu tadvina ityartha. Beautiful. Jnana gamyam, it is gained through the knowledge. What does that mean? What does jnana mean? Jnana shabdena, what does jnana mean? Purukta, earlier it was said, amanittam madam vittam, right from there, tatta jnanartha darshanam, till that. Those 5 slokas, in those 5 slokas, whatever was said, sadhana kalapena, those means of right knowledge, those means, different means which were said. Kalapa means the group of sadhanas, practices which were said. Jnana hetutaya, as they are means for the knowledge. Jnana shabditen, they are referred to as knowledge. Gamyam, through that it is understood. Prapyam, it can be gained. Natu tadvina ityartha, not without them. So even without one of them, one of the 20, you will not be able to gain. It was very clearly established there. No, but wait. Sadhinen gamyam chet. Do you say it is going to be gained through these means? Then, kim deshantra avyamitam? If it is going to be gained through some means, is it separated from by space, time, etc.? Like, I am sitting here. If I want to go to Chennai, I have to take a vehicle, go to Tirunamalai, go to Chenji, then Dindivanam, then go to Chennai. So, because it is there, separated by space. If I have to go to tomorrow, then I have to wait till the tomorrow arrives. If it is separated by space, I can do something. So, is it separated by space? Because you say you have to gain it. If you say yes, then you are in trouble, because whatever is gained, that is where he is coming. Whatever is gained is lost. Yet kratakam tat anityam, simple logic. So he says, naitya, don't say that. It is not right. Hridi sarvasya vishtitam, sarvasya pranijatyasya hridi buddho vishtitam. Sarvatra samaneni stamapi vishesha rupena tatra stitam abhivyaktam. Jiva rupena antaryami rupena cha. So in all the beings, in the heart of all the beings, the cave of heart of all beings, it is existing. Vishtitam means visheshena stitam. See, though it is the self is the one which exists in every being, whether you know it or not, in general, it is the one which exists. Still, as a in a special way, it is the one which exists in the form of manifestation of that form, of that self, not form, of that self. Like a jiva. In the jiva form, it is the one which exists commonly in every being. As antaryami, as the indweller, it is the one which exists in the special form, special way. Sauram teje adarsha suryakanto. How can the same self be in a general form and special form? It is possible. Like the rays of sun. The rays of sun are reflected on a mirror. In a mirror, it doesn't do anything. But if the same sun ray is a process through suryakanta. Suryakanta means a lens. Okay, you process it through a lens, then it has the ability to burn things. Have you done that? Using a lens, you have to adjust it properly. It will start burning the paper. So, avyavahitam eva vastutah bhrantya vyavahitam iva. Though it is not separated because of the erroneous knowledge, it is as though separated. Sarva Brahma Karana अज्ञान निवृत्त्या प्राप्यत इव इत्यर्थः. When the cause for this erroneous knowledge is negated, it is as though gained. Prapyata iva. Vyavahitam iva prapyata iva. It is as though separated, it is as though gained. It is not separated or it is not gained. It is already there. It is always there as I. But the problem is we have so many emotions. Emotions means thought functions. So thought functions, we miss the base for everything. All the thought functions should rise because of the self. Only when the I exists, the thought function can exist. But we have the stupidity to think that the thought function exists, therefore I am. I think, therefore I am. What is that? I think, therefore I am. You are only because of that there is this thought function. Okay, so you'll understand this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.